Welcome back, everyone. Before we move on to taking user input, it's really important to understand one of the building blocks of all programming, variables and data types in Java. Let's start simple. A variable is like a container that holds some information. Think of it as a small box with a label on it. You can store things like numbers, text, or even true or false values inside this box. When we need that value later in our program, we just refer to the box by its label, or, in coding terms, by its variable name. For example, imagine we want to store someone's age and name. We could create two variables, one for the age and one for the name. The variable for age would store a number, and the variable for name would store text. That's the basic idea of how variables work. Now, every variable in Java must have a specific type of data that it can hold. This is what we call a data type. Java is a strongly typed language, which means you have to tell it exactly what kind of data each variable will contain. Let's go through the most common data types you'll use when creating Android apps. First, the int type. It's short for integer, and it's used for whole numbers, things like scores, counts, or age. For example, we might say int score equals 100. That means we created a variable named score and stored the number 100 inside it. Next, we have double and float. These are used for numbers that include decimals. For instance, if we want to store a user's height, we might use a double, like 1.75. The main difference between float and double is that double gives us more precision. It can store more digits after the decimal point. Then we have string, which is used to store text. When you want to store words, sentences, or any text, use a string type. For example, we might write string name equals Alex. That means we're saving the word Alex into the variable called name. We also have the boolean type. A boolean can only have two possible values, true or false. This is super useful for things like checking if a user is logged in, or if a button has been pressed. There are a few other types too, but most of the time you'll use int, double, string, and boolean when starting out. So, to quickly recap, variables are containers that hold data, and data types tell Java what kind of data each container holds. Once you understand this, you'll be able to control how information moves and changes in your Android apps. In the next lesson, we'll take this knowledge and apply it when working with EditText, where users can type text and will store that input inside variables. So stay connected with us and don't forget to subscribe.